and welcome. Christine E. Schultz here, your favorite Elvish author, and welcome back to another chapter reaction where I read the first chapters of books to you to help you discover new books that you might want to read, to open up discussion about books that you've read, and to help me discover something new that I want to read as well. But today, we're going to actually be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be reading from one of my books, which we have done before, in addition to introducing you to, let me just move this here a little bit. In addition to introducing you, as well as me, to brand new books that I've never read before and that maybe you've never read before, I also do like to introduce you to some of the books that I've written and published as well. And we've read selections from a few of my young adult fantasy books, but today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to read from one of my children's books. And the book we're going to be reading from is called In the Land of Giants. And this one is inspired by my day job. I work with folks who have autism, and some are deaf, some are blind, and just people who have various other disabilities. I work for Trinity Services in Southern Illinois, and we have several residential sites as well as a day program where our mission is just to help folks who have disabilities to live fuller and more abundant lives. And it's a really fun job where I'm just surrounded by really fun people. Each day is something different and exciting. And I was inspired to write this book by my time working there. When I came to work there, it was really my first experience being around people with disabilities. I had been around a couple people in my life, but not a lot. And I was very nervous. I didn't know how to work with them. I was, anxious, a little bit scared. And, of course, by now I've come to realize that they're people just like you and me, and they're super cool. They have dreams and goals just like we do. They're really fun to hang out with. But at the time, I was just really young and naive and new to being around people like that, because I never had really had a lot of experience with that. And so the journey that the main character in this book goes through is very reflective of the journey that I went through and coming to discover how cool people with disabilities really are. So we're going to jump in and we're going to read In the Land of Giants. And normally I read the blurb, but I think with this being a kid's book and a picture book, we're just going to jump right in and get right to it. And I will do my best to also show you the pictures along the way. In the Land of Giants by Christine E. Schultz. In loving memory of Sharon, and to my happy friend, and to all my friends at Trinity Services. I took a walk in the Land of Giants. I didn't want to go, but a friend of mine suggested I visit there, just once. So you've got a little boy there walking through the woods. He's looking for the Land of the Giants. When I first arrived, I didn't like it at all. The people were big, strange, and very different from me. Got a big guy lifting a rock. You've got a guy in a chair with wheels. Got these two guys over here. What are they up to? Some of the giants could not speak and made scary pictures with their hands. Others spoke, but used strange words that I did not understand. They seemed to be shouting at me to go away. And there they are. There's the giants making pictures with their hands. What are they trying to say to him? He doesn't know. Others made loud noises and stomped across the ground like monsters. Some ripped plants from the ground, destroying the forest. Others fought and threw mud at each other. You can see they're ripping stuff up from the ground. They're throwing mud around. There's the little boy right there. Look how small he is compared to the giants. No wonder I might be scared too, my first time being around giants like this. Some couldn't see, and when I bumped into them, they yelled and waved giant sticks at me. Oh no, look, this giant can't even see him. He's got a big stick and the little boy's scared that he's going to run him over. Others moved around in chairs with large wheels like steamrollers that almost flattened me. Oh dear. Look, there he is, the little boy, he's running. And there's several of the giants racing in their giant chairs with wheels. He's never seen anything like this before. He does not understand. He's very scared. He thinks that the giants are after him. I ran hard and fast, shouting for help and trying to escape, but I had forgotten the way out of the forest. Nothing looked familiar. Everything was big and loud and scary. There he is. He's trying to escape through the big trees. And the giants are still looking for him. They're still after him. Still coming after him. Oh my goodness. I finally found a quiet place beneath one of the lofty trees. I fell to the ground, pulled my knees up to my chin, buried my head, and cried. I cried harder and harder, wishing that the land of giants was only a dream from which I would soon awaken. There's the giant tree, and there he is, crying under the tree. He's so scared. But no matter how many times I pinched myself, the ground still vibrated beneath me from the giant's footfalls, and in the distance, I could still hear some of them talking in their weird, unfriendly languages. After a few moments, I heard shuffling feet come up and stop before me. I opened my eyes and gasped. A long, dark shadow stretched over me. Trembling with fear, I looked up. He's looking up. What is he going to see? One of the giants towered over me like a great mountain. I wanted to run away, but was too afraid of what he might do. So instead, I held very still. Maybe if I was quiet enough, he would mistake me for one of the flowers and not even notice me. There he is. There's the little boy. He's in the giant's shadow. What's the giant gonna do? He crouched low to the ground and stared right at me. I stared back with a shiver. Who are you? He asked. My name is Matt, I said. What are you doing here, Matt? Oh no, I thought. He knows I don't belong here. He is angry with me. Will he shout at me? Will he hit me or maybe even squish me like a tiny bug? Or maybe he will throw me in a pot of human stew and have me for supper. I'm lost, I said, and I'm scared. The giant furrowed his brows. He seemed to be thinking very hard. He stayed that way a long time. My heart raced as I prepared for the worst. There's Matt, and there's the giant crouching down talking to him. What's he going to do next? Then, suddenly, he, the giant, smiled at me. His smile quickly turned into an excited laugh. Matt, he said. Wow, Matt, it is so nice to meet you. Please don't be scared. My name is Corwin, but you can call me Corey. I want to be your friend. I stared up at the giant, wide-eyed. You do? Yes, I do. What about the other giants? They want to be your friends too. Come on, I will show you. Corey bent down and scooped me gently in his hands. See, look, he's so big that the little boy will be able to fit right in his hands. Then he carried me back through the land of giants, where suddenly, while everything was still very big and loud, it was not so scary after all. Look at that. We got somebody cooking. We got these people standing around the fire. Maybe they're talking to each other. Maybe they're planning some kind of, party. Maybe they're getting ready to dance. Who knows? But they look like they're pretty friendly and like they're having a pretty good time. Some of the giants used their hand pictures to sing beautiful songs. Others sang with their voices. They seemed to love Christmas songs just like me, and I joined in. Corey sang too. So look, they're still making the hand pictures, but now the boy's starting to see that they're not trying to make these pictures to be scary. They're using these hand pictures to make words and songs, and maybe they're even telling stories with them. So he's starting to see that even though this is very different than what he's used to, it might be pretty fun and cool. We sang until our voices grew too tired to sing another word. Then Corey showed me the rest of his friends, and I discovered we had even more in common. We got a lady in a chair with the giant wheels, which would be a wheelchair. We've got a boy with a walker he uses to help him walk. And this guy cooking some food for everybody. The giants didn't destroy the forest or throw mud at each other. Instead, They harvested all kinds of vegetables from their gardens and picked fruit from the trees. One of them offered me and Corey some strawberries. We thanked her and gladly devoured them. Look, they're making some new friends. Like, you got Matt riding in the strawberry basket over here. Got Corwin in the background. And you have these two giants sharing the strawberries with them and showing them that, hey, we weren't actually trying to destroy the forest earlier. We were trying to plant our fruits and vegetables and harvest them so that we could enjoy them. Some of Corey's other friends painted bright, colorful decorations to hang in the trees. We asked if we could help, and they answered with an excited yes. I painted a large picture of a superhero, looking at Corey's shirt as a guide. I love your superhero shirt, I told him. It's just like mine. There they are, painting together. I like to paint. In fact, that's one thing I do a lot with my folks at work is we paint all of the time together. It's so much fun. Next, Corey and I helped his friends cook vegetable stew, fruit cakes, and all sorts of other wonderful treats. While we cooked, others used wood carving tools and their awesome strength to finish building musical instruments just their size. Once they were done, some of the other giants began playing the new flutes, fiddles, and drums. Others sang, and everyone else began dancing around them. It's a party, Matt, Corey cried. Would you like to go? I'd love to, I said. Look at them, they're cooking food. They're getting even more ready for this party that we're apparently about to have. And have a party they did. Got everyone gathered around. People are singing, people are dancing, people are smiling. People are having just a really great time. You got people of all sizes, ages, colors. Some people in wheelchairs, some people with walkers, some people who can hear and see, and some people who can't. But guess what? They are all having a fabulous time together and working together to make sure everyone has a great time. Corey's friends fast became mine. We danced and sang and ate good food until it was so late that the stars glowed like millions of nightlights above, until I couldn't stop yawning and my eyes would hardly stay open. Then Corey scooped me up in his gentle hands again and said, I think it is bedtime, Matt. I will take you home. I nodded, yawned again, and let him carry me once more. And there they are. Look, you got the giants back here saying goodbye. It's time to take Matt home. Before I knew it, Corey was reaching his giant hands through the open window of my bedroom and setting me carefully on my bed. I drew my blanket up around my shoulders and gazed up at him with a smile. Neat poster, Corey said. It has superheroes on it, just like our shirts. Yeah, it does, I said with a sleepy yawn and smile. Thanks for inviting me to the party, but I think I'd better get to sleep. Okay, Matt, Corey said. With a wave, he added, Please come back to visit us sometime. Oh, I will, I said, waving back. I definitely will. Good night. Good night. And look here, you can see Corwin, or Corey, saying goodbye through the window to Matt, telling him good night. On his shirt, he's got a superhero that matches his superhero poster of Willie the Brownie, which is a nod to one of my other books. I have another picture book that's a chapter book called The Adventures of William the Brownie. Corey turned away from my window, and I snuggled deep beneath my covers. As Corey walked away, I could hear his giant footsteps and feel my whole house shake a little. I smiled, for the shaking and the noise no longer frightened me. They no longer made me think of big, scary monsters. They made me think of my new friends. How silly I had been to be scared before. There he is, snuggled in bed, maybe dreaming about giants. I closed my eyes, and as I drifted to sleep, I dreamed of the next time I would be able to visit the land of giants. I was glad now that my friend had told me to go. It was a wonderful place that everyone should see. We're still partying late into the night. Next time, I think I'll even invite a new friend to come with me. There we go. You've got Matt at the end, bringing a new friend, a little girl, to come visit the land of giants. And she looks really scared, just like he was his first time that he visited. But you know what? I bet that he's going to introduce her to all the giants and show her that they're not really so scary after all. And so that is the end to In the Land of Giants. I think it's a good book, not only to talk about people with disabilities and introduce children to different kinds of people, but also to show them that different kinds of people, you can have fun with them just like you can with anybody else. You know, their differences, they work together to create this wonderful party that everyone could enjoy no matter what their differences were. And yeah, like I said, it's really inspired by my opportunity to have the experience to work with people with disabilities and learn just how cool these people are, you know? So yeah, that's my book. And if you're interested in this book or in some of my others, I have several other children's books as well as some young adult fantasy, if that's also your thing. All my books are available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble in both paperback and ebook form. Also some other websites for the ebooks, but I'll go ahead and leave the links for Amazon and Barnes & Noble down below. This book is also in a 4-book collection. All of the picture books are completely separate stories with completely separate characters, so they could be read in any order, but they all are called the Special Needs Heroes Collection because in each of the books, the main characters, or at least some of them, happen to have special needs. You've got the amazing Captain K, which is a zany outer space adventure, space pirates, but the main characters, one of them is in a wheelchair, a rocket-powered wheelchair, and the other is not deaf, but she is nonverbal, and she uses sign language to communicate with the other character. And then you have the puzzle of the two-headed dragon, in which there's a mystery that these 3 girls have to solve. They have to learn to work together to solve it. And you come to find out that one of the dragon heads is blind and the other dragon head is deaf. And that's why they have to figure out how to make them both happy at the same time. And then you have Puka, which is a more serious story in the sense that it does have to do more with death. It's inspired by a coworker of mine. Her grandson had passed away due to cancer in the brain. And so it is about a little boy who does have cancer and who does die and who does go on that journey. So it's a little bit more of a serious story. But it can be a good story to help children, you know, kind of learn about death and maybe even bring them some comfort if they are going through a serious illness, or to bring the family comfort as well. But yeah, so those are my children's books. Again, I also do have The Adventures of William the Brownie, which is a separate chapter picture book about this little boy and his brother who just go on this magical adventure. They encounter all kinds of animals and other magical creatures, and they're looking for his parents because they seem to have been kidnapped. So yeah, so those are my children's books. Again, if you have any questions, please leave them down below in the comments. And tell me what you thought of this book down below in the comments. Yeah, and let me know if you have any questions about it. On that note, happy reading, may you be inspired, and I'll see you in my next video.